Hello, dear friends. Today, we're glad to welcome you on Alatra TV Middle East. And in our today's live conversation, we will talk about the model of society where each and every person would feel happy and secure. What conditions should be created in such society for a comprehensive development and personal fulfillment of everyone? And of course, what makes us humans and what should we do to make a human life the highest priority and the highest value? Before we start, I'd like to address to you, our dear viewers. Please feel free to leave your comments and ask your questions in our YouTube live chat. And also, don't forget to share your vision of creative society, society of happy people. And of course, invite your friends by sharing this video in your social networks, adding two hashtags, hashtag creative society and hashtag Alatra Unites. And to those of you who joined us recently, I'd like to say that on the platform of Alatra International Public Movement, a unique project has been launched, which is called Creative Society. And throughout this project, people from more than 180 countries of the world are conducting social surveys, international interviews, and doing this to try to find out what type of society people would like to live in. What is the society where they would feel happy, and whether they want to live in a society like that. So today's live broadcast, we are hosting together with Alina. Hi, Alina. How are you doing
Hi,
today?
Kate. Great. How are you? Hello, everyone. Yes, thank you so much for such a beautiful introduction. And I really love our broadcasts, especially when they are so international as today. Our special guest today is Dr. Chino from India. Hello, Dr. Chino. How are you?
Hello, namaste to all of you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And Kate is in Ukraine, me, I'm in Italy now. And this is a spirit of Alatra International Public Movement, and people from different countries unite together. And I would like to introduce a project of 6 handshakes, which we are conducting through our interviewers as well, according to which to this social theory, six handshakes, all people in the world are connected through 5 of your social connections only. That means that imagine any person in the world, so there will be 5 people you know, or someone who you know will bring you to another person who knows another person, and like this you will reach the person you imagined previously. So that means that we are not strangers to everyone. Isn't it beautiful? And today's presence of Dr. Chino is a confirmation that this theory works, because another guest of our broadcasts, Shanshal, invited Dr. Chino to our broadcast. And greetings to Shanshal. Thank you so much. So, also, I would like to inform you that within the project Creative Society, we started a new project which is called the Round Table on Psychology, Jivan Jit, the Song of Life. There we invite psychologists and psychiatrists and specialists from different countries to discuss the situation with the mental health of our society and how we can improve the current situation. So this is why I would like to introduce you our very special guest, Dr. Chino. So Dr. Chino Agrawal is PhD psychologist, psychotherapist, leading career, parenting, and relationship expert from India. And Dr. Chino, we are very happy that you accepted our invitation for the interview and that you will take part of the next roundtable on psychology, which we will have on the 22nd of September. Please, dear viewers, join us and stay with us during this conference, because you can ask your questions to our speakers. So, online questions will be asked all through our live chat. So there are a lot of possibilities for you to communicate with the international team of our guest speakers. And today I would like to ask Dr. Chino, what drives you in life? What motivates you in doing what you do? Because as an experienced psychologist and psychotherapist, you meet so many people and you constantly learn and develop and you communicate with people. So please share your understandings. What drives you in life? Share your story with us, please.
Thank you so much, Alina and Kate and everyone at Alatra TV for inviting me. It's a great privilege to, enjoy this platform where I can share my story and my aspirations and values and, aim at contributing to more people across the world. And yes, when I was invited by you and we had that preliminary meeting, when you discussed with me the ideology of Alatra and the ideology of Creative Society, I could very well relate to it. When you say that you are looking at creating a society where people can feel safe, they can feel happy, they can develop, they can have access to equal information, exactly this is what drives me. So my tagline also is psychology is for everyone. And psychology aims to help people to lead more happier and fulfilling lives. To be able to contribute to people's lives, when I started my career, I started as a consultant in one of the hospitals, which was a heart institute, and where, cardiac surgeries used to take place. Now, my job over there was to meet these patients and to help them to deal with their day-to-day stresses in life. But I realized over the period of a few months that, there are so many young people in the age group of 30, 35, 40 getting heart attacks and getting operated. And I started thinking that isn't it too late for them to meet me? Because, they have already undergone so much of stress and they have landed themselves in this situation. And cardiac arrest can be a lifestyle disorder where they have not been able to cope up with the stresses. So that's what drove me to and took me to a place where I wanted to address more and more people right from the children and equip them with the necessary coping skills for their stresses. So we started a program called as Experiential Emotional Education, and we took it to the Government of India, which endorsed it, appreciated it, and through them we then took it to teachers, to parents, and then we also started training professionals in this field who can address issues of parenting, of choosing a career for themselves, and ultimately leading to a life which they want for themselves. And of course, not only for themselves, where they can be a fruitful contributor to the happiness of others as well.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chino. And I would like to say that this is so important to educate people right from their very little children so they could cope with their emotions. They could have, they could make proper decisions in life without being affected by their emotional state, for example, and things like that. And right now, I'd like to ask you our next question. Could you please share with us, what do you think is the true happiness? What is true happiness for you?
Yeah, so I would like to take you to the definition of happiness that is there in Indian scriptures, which says that happiness is actually our true nature. We don't have to go anywhere to look for happiness. We are the source of happiness. And so it's like the fountain is there inside you, and you are radiating happiness through your just being there in this world, being a part of this universe. And that's why I always have believed in my life, happiness is in giving. Whatever little that you have, if you have this feeling of sharing it with others, that gives you true happiness. So maybe you can earn a lot of wealth, and there are two ways of enjoying that wealth. One is increasing the dishes on your table, and second is increasing the number of people on your table, inviting more people to eat with you. So for me, true bliss that lies in happiness. Most of the psychological disorders can be traced to the fact that, forgetting our own identity, we are hunting for happiness in relationships, in something else, and we are blaming it on others. That just because I didn't have this kind of a childhood, just because I didn't have these kind of parents, or I don't have the ideal kind of a job, that's why I'm unhappy. But it's really not about the situation. It's really only about you and what you think brings you happiness.
Thank you very much. And also, yeah, like we're searching for excuses for us not to be happy. But if we just take a look at our life, what keeps us away from the happiness? Just our thoughts and ourselves. You decide whether you want to be happy right now at this moment or not. So I think the decision should be, made proper, in a proper way, to be happy always. And, to have this, just like you said, the fountain inside, the fountain of happiness inside of you, and shared with others. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Dr. Chino, the first and the most important foundation of a creative society is human life. Can you share with us your understanding what is life and why is it so valuable?
Yes. Life is there all around us. Why human life is special is because humans are endowed with a special resource which is not there in other beings around you. And that resource makes you capable of not only thinking about your own happiness, but also contributing to the happiness of everything around you. So as a human, I can worry about how will the birds drink water. I can worry about how will the dog has his food. So this special capability, which is called as empathy, is there in human beings. And if we are born as human beings, we have a great responsibility on our shoulders, not only towards ourselves, our own family, our own society or country, but to make the whole world as a better place to live in for everyone, including, inert things like water or air. If you are human, it is your responsibility to at least maintain what nature has given you. That is something which we are forgetting. As I told that, you are the fountain of happiness, but you find yourself with a begging bowl and seeking validation from others, to make yourself happy. Similarly, we have become takers from the universe, and we have forgotten the value that we can bring to life. So, I think human life is equivalent to having a purposeful life. Identifying what is a purpose, giving meaning to your own life, that makes it worth living.
Thank you very much. And what about true love? What do you think true love is? Unconditional love, probably.
Yes. So in India, we have got the ideals of true love, that is Radha and Krishna. And, through many societies, Radha and Krishna are now known outside India as well. And there are many international people who talk about their love. They have given us an understanding that unconditional love is again about thinking, what can you do for others' happiness? A true lover makes all the sacrifices for the other person to be happy. And that's why it takes me to a very important thought. Who can give? Who can give love? Only a person who is full of love. So, for example, if I want to give you something, I need to have that. And for true love to, manifest, the first condition is you should be able to love yourself as is. And so true love will always start from self-love. True love will always start from self-approval. True love will always start from unconditional self-acceptance, where you accept yourself and only then you will become ready to give love to others.
Awesome. Dr. Tino, what do you advise to people coming for your consultation? How to learn to accept yourself without conditions?
Yeah. So unconditional self-acceptance is one of the principles of Western psychotherapy, modern psychotherapy as well. And I have been trained in a psychotherapy called as rational emotive behavior therapy by Dr. Albert Ellis, who is from America, New York. And rational emotive behavior therapy is now very, very popular in India. There are many practitioners of REBT. And it stands on three pillars. One is unconditional self-acceptance. Second is unconditional life acceptance. And third is unconditional other acceptance, where you accept yourself, you accept others, and you accept life as it is. Now, when you ask about unconditional self-acceptance, I only teach my clients to understand that, there are certain things, certain attributes, certain qualities that you are born with in this world. And you have little power over them. So, for example, I am born in a country which is far away from where you are born. And I can't really do anything about it. That is a fact. All the facts about yourself that you have little power over are better to be accepted as it is, whether you like them or not. And so, one of the things that you can do about unconditional self-acceptance is knowing that everyone is an imperfect, fallible human being. You cannot have all the pluses. There are going to be automatically some minuses. So you may not like your hair color or your skin color, or you may not like your height or something else about yourself. But then when you shift your attention to what you have been gifted with, when you shift your attention to your gifts, then you understand that in spite of all the minuses, you can still live a fulfilling life by utilizing your pluses.
So probably finding this balance, right?
Yes, yes.
And Dr. Tino, could you please share with us your vision of creative society? A society where you, your loved ones, people that you know and people that you don't know, everyone in the world feels happy. How do you see a society like that?
A creative society can be a society where we look at mutual feeding. You feed me and I feed you. There is this special, this very famous story where there was a person who goes to visit heaven and then he goes to visit hell. And then people ask him, what did you see in heaven and what did you see in hell? So he says that in hell, when I went there, there was a pot of porridge and there were people gathered around it, and they were trying to feed themselves with big wooden spoons. But when they would take the porridge, the spoon wouldn't come to their mouth because the spoon used to be so big that it used to, spill the porridge. And although the hot porridge was there in front of them, they were still hungry and they were still, malnutritioned. Whereas in heaven, the same scene was there, the same pot of porridge were there, but the people gathered were healthy and well fed because they were feeding with their spoon to the person opposite them. The spoon won't come to their mouth, but it could go to the other's mouth, and the other person would feed you. And so this mutual feeding is what made them survive. If we can realize this vision that we are here not only to feed ourselves, but to feed others. And that is the basic, concept that is there in Hinduism or in Buddhism or in Jainism, where we say that we are living this life not only for ourselves, but for the welfare of others as well, for the greater good. That I think if we understand, we will be able to have that kind of society that we envision.
Very beautiful. Just in several words, explaining the whole concept of such a society, where everyone is happy. It's a society where people care about each other, and the society is for people, and every member of a society is for the society at the same time. And if we talk about like let's say today we have different spheres of our society, such as educational sphere, financial sphere, science, and so on and so forth, healthcare. Let's speak about educational system of a creative society. How do you envision it should function?
I don't know so much about other countries, but I know about my country. We have begun with the new concepts of, ushering in the design thinking, innovative thinking, creative thinking in our children, where we want them to become problem solvers, where we want them to become creative thinkers, where we want them to have constructive discussions about what they are learning, and put them experiment, explore, and then learn. And for a long time, education in India was about, instructing. So, the instructor is giving some instructions or teaching or imparting knowledge. But gradually, it is changing for good. And I think to be able to think creatively, you need space and freedom. And you need to have that belief that you are not the person who knows all. You have only to become a facilitator to help the children to discover what they bring into this world. And only then we will be able to create creativity in education.
Thank you very much. And what do you think, what kind of social assistance should be provided in society like that, in this sphere, for example, so that kids, students, teachers, parents, and even professors could have a possibility to show their best qualities, to develop themselves and show their highest potential?
I think what we need is, as a society, we need to encourage different thinking rather than towing the line. And so, as you have mentioned in one of the ideologies of creative society, we have an equal right for information, where we do not, feed information into people's brains and their minds, and we make it a neutral, availability where people can access information and utilize it for the greater good. So, for example, politicizing the information or making it narrow or making it target oriented is something which comes in the way of creating such a society. So it has to be an open and free and safe world.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you, Dr. Chino. And in order to build such a society, a world where every person feels comfortably and happily and feel secure, we should be united by the same goal. And the basis of such a goal are 8 foundations of the creative society, which were introduced on the webpage allatraunites.com in the article The Foundations of the Creative Society and the Stages of its Construction, published in May 2020. So, dear viewers, if you would like to know more, please visit allatraunites.com. And today I would like to shortly introduce these 8 foundations for you. So, the first foundation of the Creative Society is human life. The second is human freedom. The third is human safety. The fourth is transparency and openness of information for all. The fifth is the creative ideology. The sixth is development of personality. The seventh is justice and equality. And the eighth is self-governing society.
Thank you very much, Alina, for such a lovely presentation. And right now, we would like to talk in more detail about one of these foundations, creative ideology. So right now, we will see it on the screen. And I will read it out. Ideology should be aimed at popularizing the best human qualities and stopping everything that is directed against a human. The main priority is the priority of humanity, high spiritual and moral aspirations of a human, humanness, virtue, mutual respect, and strengthening of friendship. Creating conditions for the development and education of a human with a capital H, cultivating moral values in each person and society, prohibition of propaganda of violence, condemnation and denunciation of any form of division, aggression, and anti-humane manifestations. So, Dr. Chino, could you please share with us what do you think about this foundation? What are your thoughts?
It's such a beautiful foundation, and when you were reading through it, I was reminded of the lessons of Upanishads and Vedas, which we have in India. I think that if you go and read them, you will be able to find everything written over there. And so, what are the qualities that make you human? We would talk about sneha or affection, the feeling of nourishing or nurturing each other, feeling of respect for each other, feeling of gratitude towards each other, feeling of having an intention of others to develop and grow along with you. These are the qualities that make you human. And when you say creative, another thing that makes you human is your capability of imagining a future. So an animal would be there living in this world, but he may not have the power of imagining what would be his future like. We have this quality of imagination with us, which we can put to two uses. One is to destruct and one is to construct. One is to gather power over others and dominate and bully, and the other is to make it a society or a world full of opportunities and possibilities for each one of us. So how do you want to put yourself to use is what you have to choose and decide. And that choice is ultimately going to translate into a difference in the society.
Alina, your microphone is off.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chino. This is a very beautiful understanding, absolutely. And yes, we can't say more. And you know what is great information, that everything was given already to people many centuries before us. And that's not something new. This is very natural. It makes part of nature of every human being. So that's so much important just to recall what is our true human nature. And what do you think, Dr. Chino? How important is it to implement these 8 foundations into our life? I mean, practically, and really implement them.
See, if you do not implement, then it just remains a theory. For anything to cause an actual difference, it has to become integrated into the social fabric. And to be able to reach that limit, we should start by creating awareness and then creating deliberations and discussions around it, and then actually living that value rather than just fancying it, having it in a fantasy that you would like to have such a society. How about starting to create it from ourselves and practicing this value? So like you said about 6 handshakes, if I practice it and if I can educate at least 5 people around me, it reaches the world.
Yes, so true. And, I really enjoyed that you said, practicing it, not just talking about it, but starting to implement it in your everyday life, just living by those 8 foundations and communicating with people. This is very important. So I would like to ask you the last question for today, probably. Could you please tell us, Dr. Chino, would you like to live in a creative society?
Of course, yes. But then at the same time, I don't want someone else to make it for me and I go and live it. I would like to contribute to make it, to build it.
This is so great. And Alina, would you like to live in a creative society?
Yes, I do, of course. And I feel that we are already creating such a society today altogether, already by bringing this awareness about it and to share our understanding that is so possible and so easy to really build such a society by peaceful means. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed today's conversation, and I think our viewers as well.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Chino, and thank you, Alina. And right now, I would like to address to our viewers once again, guys, if you like the project Creative Society, and if you would like to contribute, if you would like to build a creative society together with us, it is very easy to do. You can visit the website, which is called allatraunites.com. Then at the top, you can press the Join Us button and fill out a short form where you can say how you would like to participate in the projects, and the volunteers of ALLATRA International Public Movement will surely get in touch with you.
Absolutely. And dear viewers, ALLATRA TV is a volunteer television which was created by people for people. All of us, each of us has a platform to speak up about the creative society, about how we can make our society a better place to live. And the contribution of each of us is very much important in this process. So if you would like to become a guest of our live conversation, please send us an email to info@allatraunites.com. And also you can participate in our radio show, ALLATRA Radio. There we run daily podcasts about creative society, so you can also make part of this project. Please write us as well to info@allatraunites.com. And if you would like to share our broadcasts on your social media networks, please don't forget to use 2 hashtags. First, ALLATRA Unites, and second, Creative Society. It will help our viewers and every person to find this topic in the huge internet space. So please leave your comments as well and questions about Creative Society so we could answer them in our next broadcasts. So stay with us and see you soon on ALLATRA TV.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.